I think, and this is due to practical experience, of course, I don't have enough data to make this claim as being something which is solid. But this is just from kind of a mixture of anecdote and then what I perceive. Men will go through absolute hell on earth in order to take care of their women and their family if they just have this kind of minimum threshold which is given to them. And the thing is that there's so much willfulness. It's almost like what happens is if you give somebody too much, they just begin to expect more and more and more. And I think that this is what has happened in modernity with women, is that even kind of these basic things, like the idea that Brian says, well, I'd like a woman to bow after I get out of the fucking mines and I go up with coal all over my face and I just brought home $200,000 this year. This fucking bitch can't make some noodles for me? What the fuck? That's the thing, right? It's like, it's a legitimate criticism in many ways, because what's really being said here is like, look at everything I'm bringing to the table. And I every day, day in, day out, and I don't complain, I don't bitch, I don't whine, and I ask for such a small amount, and even then we have to quibble about it. And that's really what that's about, right? The bow has nothing to do with anything other than just show me that I actually matter, and that all of modernity, which kisses women's asses, even though it's built on the backs of men, that you actually respect the fact that that's done. And that's all that's really being asked. And so I almost wonder if even this is the wrong way to look at it, right? The way that Brian looks at it. I think that women should be fucking grateful. They should be grateful. They live in the best society ever, and it's all built on the backs of not them. The air conditioning, which enables them to even exist, everything which allows them to exist in modernity is built by men, and they're the most ungrateful, snot-nosed brats about it that you've ever seen. And there's really no cause for it because they bring nothing to the table, none of them, including the old bags here who bring nothing to the table by their own admission except their pussy. And that, to me, is why, and when asked, this is all you get. I bring love and affection. You don't bring shit to the table. And that's why you can't even answer the damn question, no matter how many times we ask it. And it makes me sick because that is modernity.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
Well, first of all, I don't know if that is being addressed to Asia and I or being addressed to women in general, but you did point us out. However, you have no clue, like...
Good. What do you bring to the table besides your vagina? Give me a real example. If you want a man to take care of you for the rest of your life, what do you bring to the table except your vagina and a bunch of baggage?
I'm bringing a lot. Like I said earlier, if you're listening...
Well, let's start with the baggage you bring, and then we'll move on to the awesome stuff you bring. Let's start with the baggage.
Donated $100. Wilson, well said.
All right. Thank you, Negative 100. He wants
Let's start with the baggage first.
Okay, my baggage, personally?
Yeah.
Well, I have 3 kids. I was in a marriage for 20 years. Mm-hmm. And basically, that's it. I'm
that's
single
it?
now.
Do you realize how monumental what you just said was, that you have 3 children and most of your life was taken by another man for 20 years? You can't give another man children? What are you bringing to the table, really?
I've never dated a man anyways that wants more children. And second of all, I'm not looking for a man to marry. I would like to have a companion. And if I do find the right man, I'll marry again. However, I'm not out there searching for a man to care for me.
You're not. She is. But if you're not, then what else are you bringing to the relationship besides, again, just your vagina, really? Like, what are you really bringing to a man that he's just really going to desire? What makes you so special that you stand out besides this one attribute? Honestly.
Honestly, I'm going to say I am a great cook, great cleaner. Mm-hmm. I know how to communicate well. Mm-hmm. And I know how to please a man.
Yeah, and the men that you end up with have to be exceptional. They have to be exceptional in their field, or they can't bring home the kind of money which would be required to take care of you and whatever the graduation gifts for your kids are.
Well,
whatever
first of all,
the
no,
whatever the things are which are necessary to move over to the
I've
resources
dated-
to your children, your offspring, right?
I've dated men that make less money than me, and I never had a problem with that at all.
Well, you're not with them for a reason, right?
Well, it had nothing to do with financials.
Sure, I'm sure it didn't. It just happened to be a happenstance that they made less than you and you're still not with them, right?
Had nothing to do with the reason why we're not together, honestly.
Okay. I believe you. But in any case, no, I don't really see much in the way of attributes. I don't think that either of you are particularly stunning. I don't think you're particularly funny. I don't think you're particularly engaging. And if you can cook and clean, great. So can all of the 20-year-old girls who are sitting there right next to you, all of them. So what exactly are you bringing that's so monumental that offsets the baggage to age to a relationship why somebody should pick you? That's the question. And it's not even to be mean. It should just be pointed. It should just point out something that's obvious to men and that women just kind of pretend doesn't exist.
Well, you can ask that question to anybody, man or woman, right?
You can, and that's why I'm asking it to you.
Yeah, well, friendship, if you find the right match with the right person, friendship, quality, personality, companionship, someone that you can laugh with, someone that you can share stories with.
Yeah, they can
and
do
just
all that
go
with a
through daily
25-year-old.
activities with and have fun with.
They can do all that with a 25-year-old.
You sure can. You sure can. But you know
That's my
what?
point, though. It's like, so what are you really bringing to the table
Well, I
here?
can
That's
say
so
the same
great, you
thing.
know?
I could date a younger guy, but I choose not to because you're not on the same page, like mentally,
Well, hang
emotionally.
on. You can fuck a younger guy. That doesn't mean he's going to marry you.
True.
Yeah, and that's most older women have this experience. Yeah, younger
That's
men will bang them,
stereotyping,
but they ain't
though.
going to marry them, and they ain't going to be with them long term. You can't give them kids, and so they end up dumping you. That's what happens. In fact, this gal next to you said she had that very experience. She dated a younger man, and he decided, I actually want kids, and you can't give them to me. These are some big. That's all. By the way, all of that is baggage. All of it. You can't give them kids, that's baggage. If you have kids, that's baggage. If you X, Y, Z, that's all baggage. It's not just, I have an ex-husband and I have 3 children. It's, I'm older, that's baggage 1. It's, I have 3 children, that's baggage 2. I can't give you children, that's more baggage. All of this is baggage.
Everybody has baggage at a certain age, and that's why I feel like, for me personally, I like to date guys my age because we probably have equal amounts of baggage, right? I'm not going to be
No, I don't think you
unrealistic and
do.
date somebody that's a lot younger than me, that's going to view me as an older person with a lot of baggage.
Men your age, in comparison to you, are going to be highly pursued by almost all women in your age bracket. Most of them, because they've accrued a ton of resources. So your dating competition's even higher in your age bracket,
Oh, I
would
definitely
argue,
know that.
than in the 20s, right?
Right.
Yeah.
harder to
So, I
date
mean,
the
the
older
thing
you
is
get.
you have to be exceptional in your age bracket to net these men. Because, for one thing, their libido's way down, right? They're not necessarily just looking at you for sex like a lot of the younger men would be. And so that's one of the big netting points that women have. I'm young and beautiful, and all these men want to bang me. And that's a big netting point, a big selling point. Men in your age bracket, their libido goes significantly down. Now you got to actually bring something to the table. That's why women in your age bracket have such a hard time netting a good quality man, right? Am I wrong?
No, I hear you. And our dating
Yeah.
pool's so much smaller than when we were
Way
younger.
smaller. Yeah, way
So
smaller.
there's slim pickings.
Slim,
both sides,
slim
men and
pickings. So
women.
that's why I'm not asking these questions to be mean or cruel to you. I'm asking them pointedly because I understand that in your age bracket, the dating market's even more vicious in many cases than it is for younger people. Your options are way slimmer, and you have to be exceptional to stand out to men who don't just value you for your vagina, which younger men do.
Right.
And so when I ask these questions, what do you bring to the table? That's what I'm asking it for. So now that you understand, what do you bring to the table?
I just told you earlier.
Go ahead and tell me again.
Friendship, good personality, someone to talk to, someone to support. I would definitely support him emotionally, good conversation, a buddy to go places with, to travel, to hang out with.
And what makes those
to stay up
qualities-
at late nights.
Sure. What makes those qualities exceptional in comparison to other women in your same age bracket?
I'm a good listener, and I'm down to earth. I'm not fake or phony.
Okay.
Wait.
All right.
Do you have fake titties?
I'm not fake or phony on the inside.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Well, didn't you just hear him? Our dating pool is slim and picking, so we got to be above and beyond, right? To attract.
But you said you're not fake, but...
I'm talking personality-wise, internally.
Sorry,
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
sorry.
Crickets.
Yeah. Cue the crickets.
It's actually an interesting phenomenon. If I were to ever start a dating show, I think I would probably focus mostly on 45 to 55, even to early 60s people. And the reason is because the dating market there, I have so many people reach out to me who are in this age bracket.
GMD Jim donated $99. Andrew Wilson. Nailing IT again. We can hire a cook, house cleaner and escort, if so desired. We also have friends. What makes all that baggage worth IT?
Yeah, I was just kind of going to dive into this. But the number one complaint that I hear from men in this age bracket, in their 50s especially, is like, look, my libido is way down. I don't value women anymore the same way I did in my 20s, where I wanted to have sex every single day, multiple times a day in many cases, this type of thing, right? So the women in their 20s.
Old Man Marine donated $100. Andrew, you're amazing. Ex-wife never satisfied, never happy or grateful even though I made more money every year. Vacations, jewelry, health ins for 4 of us. She thinks she can do better. Now she broke.
Yeah, that's a very common story too. But anyway, yeah, so this is what I hear commonly in this age bracket is because I don't value those things, right? The women that I'm looking for, they need to bring me one thing, one big quality, which is that I don't have to take care of all their bullshit, and they fracture my peace, right? They fracture my peace. And so what is the point of me having a companion, right? If I'm only going to have sex with her, once a week because my libido is way down, if she brings all this baggage to the table that I then have to deal with. That's the number one complaint that I hear. And that makes a lot of sense to me. Men in their 50s, not going to be boning as much as men in their 20s. Makes total sense. Women in their 50s, of course, they can still, have the same kind of libido, but it goes down for them too. And so they're asking, what is me as an established man in my 50s, let's say, I have all these resources. Why the fuck should I share them with her? And I don't have a great answer to that. What are the things that they're bringing to the table where you should share those resources with them? And every time I ask the women this, they kind of come up with the same type of answers. Well, I'm funny, I'm cute, I'm snarky, I'm quirky, I have all these different things, but they're like, all of them are like that. And so this is kind of where I end up, just kind of trying to understand, right? I'm trying to understand from your perspective, what are these things really?
Well, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to men out there when I say this. However, I feel like when men divorce, it's very different from when women divorce, because when men divorce, they're so quick to replace their ex-wife because they want someone to take care of them, cook their dinner, do all the necessary wife stuff, right? But for women, when they divorce, sometimes they soar and they become a better person, they're more successful, they're able to focus more on themselves. So I feel like there's a codependency issue here with men and women. And I'm not trying to disrespect or bash men.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I feel
of course they do. They tend to do better in divorces because they end up with the man's income from the previous husband's income. They end up with his house. They end up
Sometimes.
with child support. They end up with alimony. So, of course, they end up... now, by the way, their income bracket generally goes way down, but they end up doing better solo only because of these factors that most of the time the court rules in their favor and gives them the allocation of those resources. So men don't usually have that advantage.
Yeah, but putting the financials aside, I'm saying emotionally, women are stronger single than men are. Men feel like they always need to be with a woman, I feel like, after they lose a spouse or after they go through a divorce. That's my
Well, here's
experience with some of my
what I've
friends and my
seen.
guy friends
Well-
and relatives. I feel like it's always the men that are so quick to find a replacement because they're scared
It's
to be
funny
alone.
because the marriage
or-
rates don't show that. They show that the women remarry much faster than men remarry. Almost like they had other people in their sights to remarry after they got the divorce.
Like in their pipeline on the sidelines.
Yeah, exactly, in their pipeline. So the thing is like, one, I'm not going to agree that that's true. And two, I've seen what happens when a man is widowed in his 40s and in his 50s. And it is fucking ridiculous. It's every predatory woman in her 40s and 50s that exists on planet Earth coming out of the woodwork before his wife's even in the ground. Before she's even in the ground. I'm so sorry this happened. Oh, because now he's available. The fight over widowers is insanity.
Yeah,
Never
I've
seen anything
seen
like
that.
it. Yeah, you've seen it, right?
seen
In
that.
your age bracket, it happens a lot. They go absolutely wild for them. You know what doesn't happen, though? That doesn't happen to widows. Doesn't happen to widows the same way.
Sometime-
Why do you
well,
think that is?
I've seen widows.
Okay, I'm not saying all the time it doesn't. I'm just saying it happens way more with widowers. And I think the reason it does is because a widower is showing a bunch of
Hide
these
it.
qualities that women want. Quality one that a widower is showing is, I was with my wife for the duration. I'm a steadfast individual, right? I wasn't leaving
Hillary
her. She had
Epstein
to die.
donated
right?
$100. BS, divorced here too. The woman leaves. I'm single after 2 years, she is taken. And 50-50 child support $1,750 per month. Equal time. Wrecked all my assets and took half.
Yeah, not shocked there, but yeah. So the widower is showing though, I have all these qualities you want. I'm stalwart. I'm steadfast. I stayed with my wife for the duration. She had to die, or I wouldn't even be separated from her. Right. So he's showing all the qualities that a woman wants. What's interesting is a widow doesn't necessarily show that they have those qualities. Just by virtue of the man dying, it's not a demonstration to other men that those qualities are present the same way it is in the opposite direction. And I just wondered, like, why do you think that is? Why do you think it is that they flock so much to widowers instead of widows?
I'm not sure, but I mean, back to the whole dating pool, slim pickings. You know,
Yeah, but it's slim pickings on both ends, right?
correct.
Yeah. So the thing is that I would have expected to see as many suitors. It's really interesting. The older you get as a man, how many suitors open up to you who are women if you want them, versus when you're younger, the opposite is true, right? Mm-hmm. That's where we come up with these memes of like cat lady and, you know, you're going to die alone and this type of thing. It's because men, when they have tons of resources, they can just kind of have their pick, right?
That's true.
Yeah.